There was an intermission. That's not right, Luther. There's no intermission. We're racing straight on to the end. But because you've been sitting a long time, I thought that we should see and recognize our guests here from British Columbia. So would you all please stand up if you're from British Columbia? Thank you so much for making the trip across the board, across the line.
Across the border peacefully today.
Yes, thank you. And then would everybody...
We pretend to be First Nations and there is no line at 49.
Is that true, Daryl? He didn't hear it. She said we could pretend to be First Nations and there is no line at 49th parallel. And we have a Lummi tribal member here who's nodding his head, yes. Now that I've heard. Everybody here from the United States, Washington State, somewhere nearby, please stand and let's recognize them for their participation. Great, thank you so much. I hope that helps as we go into the final stretch. Did anyone not get to stand up? So, I'll finish up the awards. The next person we'd like to recognize is Ashok Bhargava. So Ashok, this is in recognition of your vision in organizing the Writers International Network, your appointment as Poet Laureate of the Philippines, and your collaborative work with Poets for Peace in Turkey, India, and around the world. Good job, Ashok.
Thank you very much. And I just woke up this morning feeling very sick, but I could not miss coming to Bellingham. And secondly, I had another project on March 14 in Vancouver. We are celebrating UNESCO's Month of Poetry. And my wife happily agreed to perform a dance there too. So we left Vancouver quite early this morning. I'm all telling you all this because I want to tell you that I wasn't late. Now, Ida has to perform, so she bought a costume and she needed a matching blouse. And you think you can find a matching blouse in Bellingham? No, she can find, but there are so many. She couldn't decide what shade is exactly that will match her rest of costume. So anyway, so my delay was not coming to Bellingham. It was only coming from Mall to here. Anyway, I have been fortunate enough to travel around the world on poetry missions. And what I discovered as I go to different places, from South Korea to Philippines to Turkey to Paris to England, everybody wants peace. Everybody is craving for love, peace, and harmony. But we don't quite get what we want because there is a politics, because there is a vested interest. That's why the role a poet, a creative writer, a photographer, an artist or a dancer can play in bringing the world together is far more important than presidents and prime ministers of these countries can do. We have to have peace at the grassroots. I have very little experience with war as a small child in India, being on a border town and the war between India and Pakistan, and it was quite deadly. But I think the war that's going on today is more sophisticated, ISIS or terrorism or other thing. but that's the world we live in. That's why all of you are needed, and many more, to write poems, poems of peace, poems of love, and to tell our politicians, because people all around the world, they want the same thing. So it's very important. I think the contribution which Carla and CJ and Shannon and Betty and other people are making here is just incredible. Just incredible. And recognizing people who are doing similar things, I think it's important. Just like clapping, we are encouraging each other. All right, let's see if I can find my poem. I have two very short poems. But before I read the poem, I just want to tell, peace, people have been craving, humanity has been craving forever, because even 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, there are mantras in Hindu mythology which crave for peace, which ask for peace. So we may be thinking peace is a new problem today. No, I think peace has been a problem ever since human beings were created, because we are selfish. So my first poem is Temperament. Why do you look at me as if you were the moon, distant, smiling over the tempest as raging waves break in your amber light? Why do you look at me as if you were the sun, sovereign, laughing on an ardent day, burning the dust and my thirsty blood? Why do you look at me as if you already knew that the earth loves you, that the evening pursues, that the melancholy peaks have lost you and are blind in solitude? Why do you look at me in the phlegmatic air that blows over the cold, damp skin of the morning? If from the blue sky you ever look down again, be careful how you look at me. And my second